everybody, and welcome to part 3 of this crossover between all my what ifs. If you haven't seen the previous 2 parts of this mini-series, there'll be a link in the description below and annotation above. If you enjoy this series, please let me know by hitting that like button or in the comments below. I kind of wanted to get a feel if you guys would want more original stories, so this is the way I'm doing it, kind of. Before doing anything else, I want to give a shout out and wish a happy birthday to Shadow Z Gamer, the person who originally sparked the idea for this series in my head, so happy birthday, dude! In the previous episode, All For One, the one from Earth 10 of the MHA timeline, the one where my series What If Midoriya Found the Omnitrix takes place, he started amassing his allies with Eon, and over a 5-year period they started amassing a small army and setting up all their plans. Right now, in Earth 2305 of the Marvel Universe, the one where my series What If Peter Parker was in My Hero Academia takes place, Paradox says, "We're going to need some help." Paradox opens a portal using the newly built dimensional gauntlet that Omnideku just made using Peter's interdimensional wristwatch and some other parts, and Paradox asks, "Are you going to join me?" Izuku, Omnideku, and Peter run into the portal, stepping on the other side. They find themselves in UA High, in Earth 23 of the My Hero Academia timeline, where the Heights Alliance should be, but in this case, it isn't. Izuku asks, "Where are we?" Omnideku looks around and says, "I think we're still at in the UA grounds." Peter says, "The real question is, what world are we on? As you can see, this is where Heights Alliance should be, but it isn't, so where are we?" Paradox says, "That's something for you to find out, Mr. Parker." Paradox hands Peter a small device and says, "It's a communicator, basically an alarm. Your mission is to find this world's version of Izuku Midoriya and recruit him for our side. This world's version of Midoriya will prove invaluable in the coming crisis. Or war, if you would prefer to call it that. Good luck then. We're off then." Paradox opens a portal and leaves with Izuku and Omnideku to go recruit other people. As they leave, Peter says, "Okay, but how am I supposed to find him?" On Earth 54, a portal opens. Paradox's portal opens just as Class A and Class B finish their conjunctive training. John Kent says, "That was awesome, Midoriya. I didn't know you had that in you, but that new technique was so cool." They then see Paradox and the other two Midoriyas. Before Midoriya can say anything to what John just said, John asks, "Do you guys need our help or anything?" Paradox says, "It would be much appreciated, Jonathan." Midoriya, the version of this universe, which is how I'll be calling this version, I'll be calling him Midoriya, whereas the others are Izuku, Omnideku, etc., says, "Wait, how are you just going along with a stranger?" John says, "My father once told me, if people need help, just go along with it, no matter how strange the situation. If it's a multiverse situation, just go along with it, no matter what. It's gonna get weird, so don't ask any questions. And look closely. Those are 2 other Midoriyas that just came out of a portal. So, I'm pretty sure it's a multiverse situation. Let's go." Midoriya says, "Okay. But shouldn't we call some of our classmates or the teachers?" Paradox says, "No time. We'll drop you off in a minute. Well, we'll drop you off a minute ago when we're done." Omnideku says, "That was easy. So who are you guys? What are your quirks?" John says, "My name is John Kent, or Superboy if you prefer. My quirk is solar energy. I absorb power from the sun and can use it in many different ways. Super strength, flight, heat vision, whatever you want." Midoriya says, "My quirk is called superpower." Izuku, the one from Peter's world, says, "So you have one for all then?" Midoriya nervously says, "Yes." Paradox says, "Limit timetable, so let's get going." And they open a portal to leave. On Earth 23, the one Peter was just left in, Peter walks towards the UA building while talking to himself. He says, "Come on, Parker. You have been left on an alternate dimension with a mission to do. On an Earth where you'll probably be arrested for just being here. So what do you do? Peter hits the spider symbol on his chest and his suit switches colors to black and green, to the big time suit. Peter then starts disappearing. Peter moves closer to the UA main building and says, okay, you have about an hour of invisibility. Plenty of time to find the class schedules and sheets and see where everyone is. Peter enters the teacher's lounge from the window, opening it using his stickiness abilities from the outside. Peter jumps onto the floor and starts snooping around. Peter says, ah, there it is. I sat while keeping everything organized as always. Right, now they're in Gym Gamma and after it's lunch period. Peter gets out of the room and goes to the bathroom. There he hits the deactivation of his suit and it retracts into a small backpack, leaving behind a UA uniform. Peter looks at the backpack and says, okay, so I still have 64% of the battery left. He hears the bell ring and leaves the bathroom, going to the cafeteria. There he waits until this world's version of Midoriya shows up. In this case, we'll call him Null Deku. He sees Uraka and Midoriya in the lunch line, and seeing Midoriya, and he sees Uraka kiss Midoriya on the cheek. Peter whispers to himself, huh, so in this version of events you actually told him how you feel, huh, Uraka. Null Deku and Uraka sit on a table alone and start eating. Peter comes up with something to say and walks towards them. Peter says, hello! Null Deku, weirded out a bit since he does not recognize Peter and has no idea who he is, says, hello? Can I help you? I don't think we've met. Peter says, no, we haven't. I'm Peter from the support course. You're Izuku Midoriya! Null Deku says, I am, yes? Peter says, great! He grabs Midoriya by the arm and takes him away. Peter says, I have something to show you, come with me. Uraka starts following around saying, let go of him, trying to get Peter to stop taking Midoriya, although she doesn't manage to and realizes that Peter has a very strong grip. Peter starts heading outside, dragging Null Deku with him, and Uraka starts following them. Null Deku realizes that they passed the support course lab. Null Deku asks, what do you want to show me again? Peter says, a support item I've made that can work perfectly for you. It's in the support lab. Null Deku whispers to Uraka and says, careful with this guy. Midoriya summons an anti-quirk sword and slashes at Peter. Peter's spider sense goes off before it can hit and he reflexively evades, jumping onto the ceiling. Peter says, hey, not cool, dude. Midoriya gets in a battle stance and says, Ochako, he isn't who he says he is. Uraka gets ready to attack as well. Peter gets down from the roof and says, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not here to fight. Please put away that giant sword you just pulled out of nowhere. Null Deku asks, why should we trust you? We don't even know who you are. How do we know you aren't a villain here to attack UA or something? That has happened in the past. Uraka, go get Mr. Aizawa. Peter jumps onto the ground, shooting a web at Uraka's feet, trapping her in place. Peter says, please don't. It will be a lot harder to explain with more people. Null Deku charges at Peter, ready to slash. Peter jumps into the air, evading the attack, and says, please calm down and let me explain. Null Deku slashes again, and Peter webs his sword to the ground. Null Deku then summons another sword and scratches Peter with it. Peter tries to jump away but fails since his powers are negated. He shoots another web at Null Deku, blocking the second sword up to the ground. Peter's suit then forms around him. Peter says, please don't attack. He pulls out his ID and says, I'm a student here, just not from the support course. I'm from the hero course. I'm a first year. Null Deku says, how come I've never seen you before then? And Null Deku's sword disappears into the shadows as Peter says, because I'm not from this reality. I'm from a parallel universe. I know you won't believe me since your other self from my universe didn't believe me the first time I told them I know stuff about you. Your name is Izuku Midoriya, your hero name is Deku, you admired All Might since you were a little kid, your childhood bully became your rival later on, and she is Ochako Uraka, her family is poor, she wanted to be, to use her quirk to help them out her parents, but they told her to follow her dreams instead. She had an immense crush on you for a while now. Deku looks at Peter's ID and says, "This is Aoyama's number." Peter asks, "Who is Aoyama?" Deku says, "Our classmate. If you're telling the truth, then what are you doing here? And can you free my girlfriend, please?" Uraka blushes and Peter goes towards her using a dissolvent on the webs, so she is freed. Peter says, "A man named Professor Paradox appeared in my world talking about a coming crisis, a war of some kind, one that involves all of us and we need to prevent it?" He wasn't very big on the details. "He left me here to recruit you to stop this crisis war thingy. By the way, what did your sword do to me? My quirk doesn't seem to work properly." Deku says, it's my anti-quirk sword. If it gets in contact with you, your quirk will stop working. Don't worry though, the effects are just temporary." Peter says, "Interesting. That's probably why he said you were invaluable. Anyway, are you in?" And Deku says, "Give me a moment, please." He then talks to Uraka for a moment. Then they turn to Midoriya and say, "We're in." Peter says, "Excellent," and pushes the button that Paradox gave him. While Peter was convincing Deku to join them, on Earth 1975, the one where my series What If Midoriya Had Nightcrawler's Powers takes place, Nightcrawler, how I'll be calling him since it's his hero name and he has so many versions of Midoriya that I can't call him something Deku. Nightcrawler is the best name. Nightcrawler is watching a video of All Might. We all know the one he's watching, since he is under house arrest. When behind him a portal opens. Omni Deku comes out saying, "I guess it's my turn. I'm going to explain this as quickly as possible. We're versions of you from other dimensions, parallel universe if you want. The multiverse is real and it's in danger. We need your help. Will you help us?" Nightcrawler says, "Yes, I'll help you." Paradox opens a portal and they go through to Earth 5. This world's Midoriya has the booster gear. I'm gonna call him BG Deku, by the way. He's training outside with Drake, practicing for the provisional license exam, when a portal opens in front of him. Midoriya gets ready to attack. When Izuku comes along out of the portal holding another one of Paradox's communicator things. Izuku says, Wait, don't attack!" BG Deku asks, "What's going on? Why do you look like me?" Izuku says, "First off, I don't just look like you, I am you, but from another reality. I'm here to recruit you for a team to help save the multiverse," or something like that. I didn't really understand the details that well. BG Deku says, "Okay, I'm in," after a bit of explanation at least. And Izuku presses the communicator to call Paradox. At the same time, on Earth 20, Nightcrawler is sent to this Earth by Paradox to recruit a version of Todoroki who has One for All. Omni Deku at the same time was sent to Earth 7414, a version of events in which Midoriya is an Evo, meaning he has the abilities of Generator Rex. He is sent to recruit this version of Midoriya that will be called GR or Gen Rex Deku. Midoriya, the one from John's world, is sent to recruit a quirkless version of Midoriya on Earth 2 of the MHA timeline. John is sent to Earth 21, a world where Bakugo has One for All, to recruit him. It has to be John since, well, he isn't Midoriya. While everyone recruits a version of themselves or another person or a version of Midoriya, Paradox runs a few other errands, recruiting a lot of people himself and getting a couple things in order. These are an undamaged All Might, the version of Midoriya that has a Nova Corpse helmet, Mido Wolf, the werewolf version of Midoriya, Danny Phantom from a version of events where he is in the MHA world, a version of Midoriya that has One for All, and a half-ghost version of Midoriya. Oh, and a speedster version of Midoriya, one who has access to the Speed Force. After everyone presses their communicators, Paradox goes around getting them all together again. Once they are all together, Paradox puts them in a pocket dimension and says, "We seem to be all here, so I'll get started. Today we're up against a terrible adversary. that has amassed a ton of power and has planned to destroy everything there has ever been. We are the only ones who have a chance to stop him. Good luck, everybody. Remember, the fate of the universe, the Omniverse, is in your hands. Noah Deku says, no worries, we can beat them in seconds. The healed version of All Might puts his hand on Midoriya and Nova Deku's shoulder and says, overconfidence will be our downfall, so let's try to keep a level head, not underestimate our opponents. We have no idea how powerful they can truly be. Most importantly, all of us have to give it our all. Paradox says, well said, All Might. At the same time, in the Universe 10, in Chronostasia, the homework of the Chronosapien, clockwork species, 2 portals open. All for One, followed by his army, come out of them. His army is comprised of a bunch of Ultima Nomus, an evil version of Midoriya, Bakugo and Todoroki, Mad Ben from the Ben 10 Omniverse TV show, Overclock from the My Hero Academia legal story, who comes with a bunch of his own small explosion monsters, and the ghost known as Technus. Albedo from my What If Midoriya had the Omnitrix series, who by this point has a working Ultimatrix, Eon, Tomura Shigaraki, and a couple of his compatriots, and Dr. Ujiko. All for One says, it's time to get what we came for. What we need to set this plan into motion. They walk to one of the Chronosapiens' main vaults, kind of like the Pentagon of this world. Anyway, that's where I'm ending it for today. Hope you all enjoy as always. If you have any theories or comments, please leave them in the comments below. I would really want to see them. Like the video. Oh, and as always, you can always subscribe if you're new. Again, please let me know if you want more of this more original style content in the channel. And yeah, happy birthday, Shadow Z Gamer. And until next time, everyone, have an absolutely fantastic day. Bye!